Good morning, guys. I want to walk you through today how to search for properties in Georgia MLS. And we're going to start out going to the Georgia MLS site. So GAMLS.com. That's going to bring you to our Georgia MLS home screen where we will want to log in. And where a lot of new agents are going to be tempted to go is right here where it says search. This is not where I want you going to search. This is old technology that's left over from pre-Paragon times. Instead, I want you to come over here to Tools, go to Paragon. And one of the things that I would encourage you to do is go ahead and bookmark this page so that you do not have to go through Georgia MLS in the future. Once you have marked this as a bookmark and have it on your bookmark bar, you can just go straight to Paragon and log in directly to Paragon instead of having to go through Georgia MLS. Start out giving you a basic tour. We have over here on the left hand side have our quick search. So if we happen to know the listing number, if we're looking for a specific property, such as I'm looking for 347 Chip Road, I can put it in right here. And one of the things I want you guys to see is don't put the road, street, whatever. Just put as little information as you can to identify it. And you will see it will tell you how many listings it's found for that. And when we click search, it will take you and it will show you here's all 4 of the listings in Paragon popping up. So let's head back to our home screen. So quick search over here on the left. Up here on the top right, we have our hot list and a number of other panels that are here. And I want you guys to see, you can rearrange the screen however you want to. So if you don't want this Paragon news in here, you can move that around and your quick search comes up here. If you don't want your message center over here, just bring it over to here. So lots of ways for you to reorganize this page however you prefer. But where we're going to go most of the time is just directly to search. And then we're going to have our options. What type of search are we wanting to do? We have our specific searches where we know we're looking for a single family detached, single family attached, multifamily, land or lot, commercial, acreage or farm, rental residential or rental commercial, and then multi-class. So if we want to look at more than one of those categories, we're going to go to multi-class and choose the selection. And I'll show you what that looks like. So now I can choose what sort of property type do I want. And by default, it's going to put them all in there. And working in all of these fields, we always have the option of I can click off of things here. So if I know that I don't want commercial marketing, I can just click the X. That will take that off of my search. I can go over to the magnifying glass and look at what all of my options are, and I can choose here to select or deselect something and save that. Or I can come up here. This criteria summary is going to show me here's all the criteria that I'm using to search by. And right now the only criteria we're searching by is property type. If I want to edit that, you can see it shows me where that field is by highlighting it, so I know where I need to go to edit that. So if I wanted to search just single family detached and single family attached, I'm getting that criteria right now. Okay, and then you'll see how these other fields work as we work our way through a typical home search. So typically speaking, we're probably going to use single family detached more often than anything else. And this is our search field. And there are 3 main categories. One of them is going to be the primary criteria. This is information about the property. Coming down below, I've got my dates criteria. This enables me to filter by when it was listed, when it was closed, when it went off market, when the status was updated, and so on. And then I have my agent or office criteria. So I can come down here and search by listing office, selling office, search by licensee number if I want to. All of those are options for me. So, but for my typical home search, all of the major fields are already put in here for us. So I can use the price right here, and you'll see it's a range. So if I wanted to search from 250,000 to 300,000, I can do that. If I want to look at status, I can active, back on the market, contingent with kick out, new. If I don't remember what those initials stand for, just click on my magnifying glass and it will tell me what each of those are. So perhaps I also want to look at coming soon added in there. I'm going to save that. When it comes to geography, I can filter by county, by subdivision, city, or zip code. Those are all pretty self-explanatory. So let's say that I wanted to look at Gwinnett County. As I start typing, it's going to pop up potential matches. I can just select that match. So right now, where I'm at, you can see in Gwinnett County, between 250 and 300,000, looking at stuff that's active, back on the market, contingent with kick out, new, or coming soon for single family detached. There's 348 listings that are there. Okay. Have other options down here: subdivision, city, zip code, total finished area. So let's say that I wanted to search for something that was under 3,000 square feet, but more than 2,000 square feet. And one of the things that you guys need to be aware of is there are a lot of lazy agents out there that don't put the square footage in. And so their listing is going to show up with 0 square footage. So I recommend when you're doing your searches, only put a maximum square footage, don't put a minimum, because a lot of properties that will actually meet your criteria are going to be listed as having 0 square footage. If someone's looking for a particular school system, those are in here by name. So let's say we're looking for Parkview High School. I can go ahead and just choose Parkview, and you'll see now I'm down to 13 that are in there. The other place I want to point you guys out to that is so often overlooked is this features area. Must have, must not have, must have one or more. This is where all of those other details are at. So by clicking on the magnifying glass, it's going to show me all the different areas where I have criteria that I can search by. So let's say that I want one that does not have a basement. Well, I can open up the basement here and I can say it must not have a full and must not have a partial basement. That's going to bring me up everything that's either on a slab or on a crawl space. So now I'm down to 7. So if I want to make a change, like let's say that I was okay with, doesn't have to be in Parkview. I can come right here and just get rid of that as part of my search criteria. So now I've got 265 properties. And the last thing I want to point you to is the mapping feature. So when we click on mapping, it's going to take us to the map. And this is a great way for us to see where what we're searching for is, and will allow us to narrow down our search using a variety of different tools. So let's say that my buyer lives in Snellville but works in Atlanta. Well, they probably want to stay pretty close to this area. So there's a few ways I can approach this. I can come up here and I can say draw, and I can either use a radius or a polygon, and I'm really fond of the polygon tool. So somebody lives in Snellville but works in Atlanta, they probably would like to or wants to live in the Snellville area but works in Atlanta. They may entertain moving a little bit closer. So I may want to come in here and I can draw, as long as they are in this area, they're going to be happy. And I have to finish where I started. And you'll see that's now eliminated all the other matches. So now when I hit search here, or I can always go back to my criteria and hit search from here, that's going to take me to my 39 matches that I have. Now, one of the reasons I'm really fond of Paragon is this little synopsis screen that's up here. It's going to show me my total listing count, what the high days on market, low on market, average on market is. It's going to show me the high list price, low list price, average list price. And if I were pulling comps for looking for sold properties, it's going to give me my sold criteria right here. We're only looking at actives, so none of these are sold, so there is no sold data. Now that I'm here in this page, one of the things I want you guys to know is every one of these columns can be filtered. So if I want to put these in order from lowest price to highest price, I can just click on the top of the column. And you'll see it's now put everybody from 250 up to my 350 or to 300 range in order. Okay. If I want to come over and look at square footage, I can put it in range of square footage from lowest to smallest. Those are great tools for helping us sort and identify our properties. Couple other things to notice. I have the opportunity to filter my results. I can pick and choose. I want to see these particular properties. Okay. So let's say that I knew that my client wanted at least 2,500 square feet. Well, I've got this sorted in square footage. I have no idea for all these properties that have 0 square feet. See, told you agents are lazy. I have no idea if those fit my criteria or not, but I can come over here and select everybody. These ones that have 1,200 up to 2,500 square feet, I know are not good matches. So I can go ahead and take all of those out. And then I tell it I just want to look at the checked boxes. And now that has brought that down. Okay. Then if I want to go in and take a closer look at the property, I can click on the listing number. That will take me actually into the listing where I can go through and read all the details. I have the option to look at all of the pictures. And here, all these icons give me additional information about the property. They take me to someplace else or give me a pop-up that's going to give me more information. For example, I can see this property's been on the market for 193 days. If I want to look at the listing history, I go to the H for history, and it will bring up all of the listing history. So this was first recorded back in September, and there have been no price drops, no adjustments to this particular property. Going and taking a look at another. Let's see if this one has had any changes. Here you can see that the started out at 275, then it was dropped to 270, dropped to 265, dropped to 260. So really good information there. Other icons that you're going to see in here is our tax suite. I always have the option to go into the tax suite here in searching for the property, but this takes me directly to the link for the tax information for that property. It pops it up in a new window. and I can see all of the public data on that property, see its tax history, what the county thinks the details of the property are, see what its flood zone is, lots of details and information in there. So going back to my correct tab, if you want a map of the property, financial amortization, so you want to see a mortgage calculator for this property, community reports, walking score. These continue on and on. The one that I really want you to be aware of that you'll want to visit frequently is the D. These are documents. So when I click on that button, it will show me here are documents the listing agent uploaded for us. So these are the disclosures for the property. So I can just click on that to download those disclosures as a PDF to use those with my offer if I'm making one. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my property. I'm going to go back to my overview of it, and that is pretty much it. So let's say that I had gone through these and I had identified that this one, and this one were really good matches for my client, and I wanted to send that to them. Well, I can simply click email, and I want to send them the client detail report. I'm going to compose my email, put their email address in. I'm blind copied. I can change the subject line to whatever I want to. Potential Gwinnett Homes. Comes in here, add whatever I want to, and they will get a link that will send them to these 3 listings. Okay. Anytime that I want to, I have options of different ways to look at different reports. I can come over here and look at the agent detail report, client details. There are map reports in here, the Google map. I can also go back to my map search anytime that I want to and see where those are. And these numbers right here, this is because we are zoomed out. We can't see where the individual properties are. As we zoom in, you will see those will go away and we'll start having individual listings pop up. These just mean there's 2 that are too close together for them to show the individual tags. And I can always go back to my criteria and add or make changes or modifications to my criteria. Last thing I want you guys to know is once we have created this search, if this is the search we want our client to get on a regular basis, if we're going to come back in and make this search on a regular basis, we have the opportunity to save the search. We can either save the search here, or we can go save search as. When I do save search as, I can save it for me and give it a name. So this is Homes for Bob. Okay, and I could save this as a search, and I'll show you how you see that in a minute. Or if I've added Bob as a contact up here, you can see this. I'm able to go in and put a contact in Paragon. I can now assign that to whomever it is. And I don't have Bob in here, but I do have Susan. So I would just pick Susan and then hit save and notify. And now Susan would get an email every time something new popped up that met this criteria. If a property comes back on the market, or if there's a price change in this criteria. And guys, I think that's about it to get you started on this. If I were wanting to do a new search and wanted to do one of the save searches I had, I would just go to single family detached, and when it pulls it up, I can go to load search, load save search, and it will pull up all the different searches that I've created. And you can see in here where in the past we've had save search for Brent and John and Susan. And then I could pull that search up again or have those set up and credit for them. So any questions about this, get with me or Susan. We'll be happy to help you to walk you through it. Happy to sit down with you shoulder to shoulder. But that's Georgia MLS in a nutshell. Have a great day.